This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Hi, welcome to another edition of The Away End in association with AMG Logistics. So firstly, we go into the game at the weekend against Barnsley with what is going to be a raucous sellout away stand. Over 5,000 Brummies invading Barnsley on Saturday, and no doubt invading Nicky Eden's bar beforehand. It's going to be a great day, and everybody is sure to have some fun. Want to shout out that it is going to be the Flag and Banner Day, where all Birmingham fans are celebrating those people that have been lost in fans and across the families over the past 12 months. So for those that are travelling, make sure you've got your scarves, your flags and your banners, and you're loud and proud. So I'm joined this evening by Andy Simcox from the Red All Over podcast. So firstly, thank you very much for joining me to run through a preview of the game.
It's an absolute pleasure, Craig, an absolute pleasure. I can't guarantee they'll understand everything you say, but I can guarantee that you'll not understand everything I say.
That's what we like.
I've got a friend, one of my very close friends, lives in the Dudley area, but he's a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan, so he's going to disown me after this. He'll not talk to me again after this.
All I can say is,
Martin,
if you can understand him, you can definitely understand me, because their accent's a lot broader.
Austin.
That's the one.
That's the only one I understand. The only thing I know. And Yam. Is it Yam?
Yam. That's the one.
So
we're going into the game. As I mentioned, with over 5,000 fans travelling up to Oakwell. It's going to be a great event.
Lovely. Thank you for your money, all of you. Thank you.
Indeed.
Much appreciated by our club.
And I know, one of the only clubs, in fact, to give us such a large following. So, whenever it's there, they'll sell it without any problems. So Barnsley are doing really well at the moment. Start of the season, obviously, coming off the back of a decent season last year. And as we stand sixth in the league, so good position at the moment. But against Birmingham, quite a mixed history, it's fair to say. So we've played actually over 80 games over the years between the two clubs. Wow. Works out with 40 games being won by Birmingham, 21 drawn, and 26 going to yourselves. Actually, as well, back in the history time, our first ever game against each other, September 1898. So actually one of the first games to be played. That ended in a 3-1 win for Birmingham. And we actually last played each other in January of 2022, which again ended with a 2-1 win for Birmingham. So I'm hoping as we go into Saturday that run continues.
Sure you do.
So over the past 5 games, got to say as well, completely mixed. We've won 2, drew 2, won 2, lost 2, and drew 1. So proper borderline as we go into the game. So tell us a little bit, first of all, about your podcast, how long you've been going, etc. And then also let's go into a little bit about Barnsley themselves and how you've started the season. Did you expect to be where you are?
Okay, Red All Over, it's been going since around 2016. It was originally a radio show, to be honest, on a local radio station, Durn FM, which has subsequently closed a few years later. Bit of a shame. The guy that started it off was a journalist on the radio station, Joe Beardsall.
Yeah.
And for his sins, he invited me and my close friend Alan Smith into the studio, ironically in Doncaster, to which is all right, it's nearer for me, to record a radio show that went out on a Friday evening. When the radio show was sold off amongst a whole load of other radio shows to Greatest Hits radio. Don't listen to it. It's not right. We made a decision. It was around COVID, so that didn't help. What to do about it? Did we just pack in, or did we do something about it? So in the end, in fairness, Dern FM said that we could keep the name Red All Over. I'm not sure what they'd have wanted to do with it under Greatest Hits, but still good of them. So rather than just do an audio podcast, which had probably been better for me with a face like this, we went down the route of, like you, we went down the route of going on Zoom and uploading stuff onto YouTube. And HD, it's not, when you're 70-year-old, it's not kind. HD's not kind. It's just not kind. Whatever lighting you have, it's just not kind. So we did that, and we didn't know how it would pan out. We thought there'd be 4 or 5 views, ourselves and maybe one other.
Get a family members like downloading it for you.
All that, yeah. And it's gradually grown and grown, and there's a few Barnsley ones which is nice. There's Tax TV. There's a young lad Taylor who does Barnsley on tour. He goes to all the games, and it's always where he films part of the game and the crowd and the atmosphere itself. So that's good. A few others in the red corner and what have you. So there's a few different ones, but we're all Barnsley fans, and that's the good. That's the good thing. We do a number of shows at Red All Over. We do, like you're doing. We do preview shows. We do review shows. When we've got a Saturday afternoon game, we do an instant reaction show straight out of the ground, which is usually a bit more bit feisty. Because obviously, if you've won, then
right.
You're all buoyant, aren't you? And it's all, you get giddy, and get all silly. If you don't, if you lose or concede late goals to draw or whatever, then you're miserable. And in my personal case, I just blame the referee. It's easy.
It's the easiest thing.
Just blame the ref, and most of the time they deserve it. I do, like you're doing that, like this. I personally am the host of Red All Over's Away End, where exactly what you're doing. We get when we play away, we get guests from various podcasts like yourself. So I know you'll return the favour, Craig. So
of course,
it's and I'll find it fascinating rather than because you can talk in a bubble, can't you? There's 4 of us. Well, there's more, but there's 4 at once. There's about 7 of us in total that we take it in turns to do it. Josh, me and Alan, who's the old ones, Josh, who tends to host it the vast majority of times, and such as Craig and Jane and Tracy and Tom. But I do the away end, and it's nice instead of just talking in a bubble to to yourselves.
Yeah.
And it's nice to talk to other people like yourselves, even if I can't understand what you're saying. It's nice to. For my sins, I talk regularly to Gabriel Sutton, who's a Birmingham fan and does the EFL debate and what have you. Probably know. So yeah, it keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me in front of a computer. We try to do a few live ones as well, so that we're in person.
Yep.
In some, we sponsored. We've got a few sponsors, but one's in a local working men's club. So we try to go there and have live ones, which is different. We cover the women's game as well, Barnsley FC women's team, and to their great credit, the head coach Jess comes on it with a player or 2 at different times. So we try to vary to make it interesting.
Excellent.
This season because we got a few quid from we sponsored a junior football team, one main under 10s, which were lovely because we got the kit, but they went to the local sports manufacturers, Edge, who did us a great rate, because they're from Barnsley.
Yeah.
And the kids went over with the coaches and did their own, did their own kit, sorted it all out, and designed it all themselves, and so it being
Fantastic.
being made. So we're really, really chuffed about that, and hopefully we'll do the same again if we've got any money left for next season. So we try to do what we can for the community.
Excellent. Same as ourselves, really. We've fundraised quite a bit. We support all of the local groups. and you need predominantly, it's all for the fans, and we are the fans,
Absolutely.
so it's ran by the fans as well, so it's great. So
Absolutely.
tell us then, ahead of Saturday,
Yeah.
what can we expect from the Barnsley side? What can we expect from your manager, and also where's your strengths and weaknesses? Because
Okay.
every team's got them.
Well, it's I don't know about for you, but it's going to be interesting for us as well. We started off the season. We didn't do too bad to start the season, but there was a lot of Darryl Clark. Darryl Clark is our new head coach for this season, and it felt to me and to a number of other people that we were changing the formation, the players a fair bit, making a number of substitutions, in-game tactical changes, sometimes needed, sometimes maybe not so needed, and it all got a little bit confusing. And or I think it went a bit awry.
Yeah.
Our home form has not been particularly good. We've only won a couple of matches uh, in the league. Of the last number of months, drawn quite a few. But we seem to have settled the side down. We play three at the back, wing backs, three in midfield, and two strikers. Sometimes one main striker and two attacking midfielders either side. So there's a slight variation there. Whereas
Yeah.
before we changed to 4-4-2, 4-3-3. We've not changed anywhere near as much. We've kept that same formation over the last month or so, and it was needed, Craig. To be honest, we got absolutely pasted away to Huddersfield. We only lost 2-0, but when I say pasted, we weren't even at the races. We were poor,
Mm.
really, really poor. Just before the international break, a couple of breaks ago. So we sort of regrouped and come back with that formation and are doing a lot better. Our away form is good. We are good away from home. We grind it out well, but we play decent football at home. We play decent, apart from the occasional one. We play decent football, but we cannot get the ball. We cannot convert the chances. We've got players that can. The frustrating bit is that we've got a number of players up front. We've got Stephen Humphreys, who's can score goals. Davis Keeler Dunn, who we got from Mansfield in the summer, he can score goals. Adam Phillips is an outstanding player who can score goals. We've got goals all over the pitch, centre halves that can come up and score goals. But as an example, we played our first team, as near as damn it, we won change, played our first team against Bristol Rovers at home in the Cup. Drew 0-0, lost on penalties, so gutted. But it's life, isn't it?
Yep.
We had 30 chances, 9 on target, and couldn't score. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. If it is, it's like a collective hysteria of a lack of confidence because our players were missing the ball completely from good positions. The ball come across, missing it, heading over, heading wide, scuffing shots, and it wasn't just one player; it was most of them. And it's the second game at home that we've done that, in a row, and it's so you may well see a lot of that when you come and bring
I'm
all your money
hoping.
with
I'm
you.
hoping so. I don't mind scuff shots and nothing on target. That suits me down to the ground.
I'm sure it would. So for us, it's sometimes better to play away from home because because we've been a lot we've been a lot more clinical. I don't understand it, and well, I suppose the greatest worry is if you don't make the chances.
Yep.
Last season we'd score 1 in 2 chances, but we only made 2 or 3 chances a game. I've said 30 chances this last weekend, and about 20 the one before. So we're creating it and looking decent. But it's that last touch. It's that fox in the box. We've got one. We've got Max Watters, who's injured. We got from Cardiff, but he's injured. If
Mm.
he was on the pitch, I've no doubt he'll score some. But the cheeky little ones from the Gary Linekers, Alan
Yep.
Clark, who used to be our manager and what have you. The ones that you score from 3 yards out. We're scuffing them. We're just scuffing them. Or we say to the goalkeeper, here, and tap it back to the goalkeeper.
Pass it back
It's
to them.
that sort of stuff.
Well, we've
So,
got that proverbial fox in the box in Alfie May.
yes, I
And
know.
it's he's one of those players that over the past few games, really, it's been where is he best to play. And I think what we saw against Exeter was Alfie at his best, and a more settled side where he actually played a natural number 9 rather than all over the place as it has been. And then we've had Stansfield out on the left wing. So it's the attacking side of it, no worries, but actually very similar to yourselves. We've got large amounts of possession, large amounts of opportunities, just don't put them away. So a better performance at Exeter was seen. We've also better up at, despite a second string side, really, up at Blackpool in the FA Cup. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes on Saturday. So,
well, we remember Alfie. Well, we know Alfie May well from his Doncaster days, which
indeed,
is one of our closest rivals. And of course, we followed him, such as all the other teams he's played for. Wish we could have signed him because he knows how to finish. And my
he's
biggest
a natural
worry,
goal scorer.
absolutely is my biggest worry, and he's been a thorn in our sides when he played at Exeter, particularly where they pasted us at Exeter and he scored a couple of goals. And then at Lincoln, he just loves playing against us, and that's Jay Stansfield. Just loves playing against Barnsley. So, it's that mixed thing, isn't it? You want to see good players in the person playing good football, but I just want him to have an off day. If ever he listens to this, Jay, just get away. Just
one game,
Saturday.
please.
Just don't bother. You've had enough fun at our expense. Leave it out this weekend.
You're saying that, you see, I want him to score a hat-trick, so it's
could well do. It could easily do.
Well, I mean, you've mentioned there a lot about your setup and your structure. Of course, you have ex-Birmingham player in your squad, or a couple actually at the moment. We'll come on to a few of those in a bit. But what I'm intrigued about is just the general question. We hated it at Birmingham. One of the things we hated was you had Mark Roberts, who on his day was an absolute superb, unbeatable defender. However, we consistently went with long throws. And we, as fans, can honestly say we can count on one hand how many times we actually scored from those long throws. So my question is, does he still do them, and do you hate them also?
A bit of two things, really. The first thing is, a number of Barnsley fans, he comes from Barnsley. Mark Roberts.
Yes, he's a Barnsley fan through and through.
He used to play for us. Lovely guy. Personally, I'm thrilled that he's back. I don't care. I think he's about 34. I don't care. I'm glad you released him so we could sign him back. Some players, is he a bit too old? Is he a bit too old? No, he can still do it, and he still does do it.
Yep.
He's from corners. Well, from anywhere, he's really good in the air, strong on the floor, good in the air especially. Wins a lot. He's got a couple of goals. Really, really strong in the air for corners and free kicks and what have you. Yes, he still does his long throw. We've also got a player who I don't know if he'll be playing this weekend, but he's certainly not playing against Wrexham tonight, as it happens, as Barry Cotter, who's a right wing back. We've got two right wing backs that interchange sometimes. Barry's got a long throw. And what you want from Mark Roberts, if Mark Roberts is going to do a long throw, I want Mark Roberts to be on the end of it. So he needs to throw it in like hell and get his head on it at the end. Because otherwise it's exactly a repeat of what you're saying, that a long throw goes in and you're just waiting for it to be headed clear. The only thing I would say and watch for is not been playing recently. We've got an American international centre-half called Donovan Pines, Big Donny. If Big Donny comes on, or starts for all I know, he might start. If Big Donny comes on, goes up for corners, for throw-ins, Mark Roberts will put it on his head and he's a beast. Donny will win everything. So if Donny's not playing for long throws, just let it clear. If Big Donny's playing, start to worry a bit.
We're used to that. The long throws being cleared was one of the things that we always saw. Is like, yeah, here we go. Here's the torpedo. Oh no, it's gone away.
Frustrating, isn't it?
It is indeed. So, yeah, we're going to go into the game both on a really, half decent run of form. Obviously, the fans have got the expectation. We want to continue on our runs. You want to continue on yours. But what I want to do is challenge you a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Your knowledge of players have
I'm
passed.
70. I've forgotten what I had for breakfast. So let me think.
So the challenge is,
Can't remember.
yeah, that's it. That's his name. The challenge is, I want you to name 5 players, and we've mentioned one already. I'm going to let you have Mark Roberts. It's only fair. So you've got to only find 4 now, but 4 players that have represented both clubs over the years. We've had a mixture of what I would class as decent players. Those that probably haven't hit the ground running and actually shown their true potential. One of those is at your club at the moment, actually, alongside Mark Roberts. So we'll see if you can name them. So yeah, give us 4 players that have represented.
Oh, goodness me. Nicky Eden went to you
Of
for
course,
us, and he's back in Barnsley at the Eden's Bar, as you've
he
said.
is
So
indeed.
that's
As a
lovely.
I am the head of Solihull Supporters Club, and we are running a coach up there on Saturday. And surprise, surprise, we're going to go to Eden's Bar. So
that'd be lovely for you.
it'll be good to see Nicky, and he's a friend of Tilton Talk as well. He's actually been on with us, so he's a true gent. Brilliant player when he represented both clubs as well. You know, wore his heart on his sleeve.
He absolutely was. As a right wing back, he could, or whichever he played, right full back, right wing back, he could whip a crossing.
He was brilliant, and on his day again, one of those defenders that you'd put yourself up against and think, "Oh Jesus, I'm going to struggle to get past," or "Oh God, he's got past me and he's whipping in a ball now." So one of them that everybody would love to see nowadays.
It's a pity that we don't get Nicky coaching some of the wing backs these days. Beating the first man instead of it being blocked. So yeah, Nicky. I'm trying to think who's still with us apart from Mark Roberts. I think. Oh, it's going back a long time. I think. Did David Geddes play for you?
He did indeed. Yes, David
We love
Geddes.
David Geddes. He was
85-86 season. Signed for Birmingham from yourselves.
Billy Ronson, another one.
Indeed. It was again 85-86, and again signed from yourselves to Birmingham. That was a loan transfer, though.
Right.
There you go. You've got just one more. One more.
You see, you're going to wonder why I've got those 2, aren't you? While you were talking to me earlier, I texted my mate, I tell you, who's also 70, Alan Smith, and said, tell me 2 players in 84 to 85, or 85-86, 85-86 that left us and went to Birmingham, Billy Ronson and David Geddes. I can't remember what I had for breakfast, Craig. But Smith, my mate Smithy, he can do the business for me. And I'm being honest, I was just going to lie and just make out I knew what were happening. I'm trying to think. Currently in our squad,
I believe he's still with you. He was definitely there in your run last year. He actually, I think, scored over 1, maybe 2 in your playoff game. Actually, centre forward.
Sam Cosgrove.
Correct, Sam Cosgrove. A guy that came to Birmingham.
He's been injured. It's just coming back from injury. He's had a couple of times out with injury and he's not quite got his feet yet. He's not been started. He'll start on Saturday now, but he's not been starting. But coming on.
He was a guy that came with a lot of expectation to Birmingham, and unfortunately, it never paid off for him. So he again left us and joins yourself on a permanent move. But there's a few others to read out a few of the names. So you've also got Nick Townsend, Nick goalkeeper. He signed on both loan and I think permanent transfer to yourselves. Gary O'Connor as a centre forward.
Gary O'Connor,
loan and a free transfer. Then we go back over the years.
He became. I think it was Gary O'Connor that scored goals against Leeds, so he became an instant legend. Scored a couple of goals we hammered
against
Leeds.
The rival.
I think it was 5-2. I think something like that, which was unusual for us. But there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to have had a bit of a fascination with our goalkeepers over the years as well, because Andy Marriott represented both clubs. Art Greemick represented both clubs as well. So, definitely a trend with the goalkeepers. So yeah, no,
Oh,
well done. You see, you can do the 5 after all. You were challenging yourself, but you got them. You got them in the end.
yeah, only by a bit of subterfuge.
So come to that point in the show where I have to ask you that unfortunate question of what does your heart say and what does your head say going into it for the results on Saturday?
I think, I've said before that you've spent a lot of money on your team this season, and if you've got the money, spend it. You came down last season. You need to go straight back up. You
Yeah,
need to, and I think most people in Barnsley, we did our at the start of the season we do a little competition that we then play back to people at the end of the season to say who they think will be the top two in the playoffs. The top six, if you like, including the top two, and consistently, people put Birmingham in the top two. They also put Rotherham up there as well with you. So maybe not so much, not
they'll probably change their mind now.
and they're a close rival to us and all. So maybe you don't need to emulate them. So and I think that's a fair assumption that for a lot of teams playing Birmingham will be difficult for you because it'll be like a cup final to a lot of
Yeah,
teams.
indeed.
And so it should G up players that little bit more when they're playing against you. Now for us, it's just another game, isn't it? I remember coming down to St Andrews and panning you 4-0 in the playoff semi-finals in 2000,
Yeah.
which was nice. But I also remember coming back to Oakwell and you beating us 2-1 in the second leg, and I thought, please let us hang on. You can't win 4-0. And then I've got a bit of time for Birmingham, much as my mate Martin won't be happy with me, because my lad went to university in Birmingham. So he lived for a couple of years in Selly Oak. So we used to come down and spend some time there. So it's a nice city, a nice city. I think you're going to other teams. We're playing Wrexham tonight. You're playing Stockport tomorrow. Interesting games, both games, because all 4 teams are up there. Things
Indeed.
can change by the weekend, so I wish you all the best for that. You've got games in hand. I think you're going to do it. I think you'll win it. Pains me to say it, for Gabriel Sutton, but yeah, I do think you'll win. And if we were playing in Birmingham, I'd say it could either be 1-1 or we could win 2-1. With it being at Oakwell, it depends. I want to say it depends which Barnsley team turns up. It depends which Barnsley team's going to turn up in the last 6, the 6 yards in front of goal. I I I think 2-2. I think 2-2 will be evens. All nice and even. It'll suit us both a little bit. We'll both get a point, but it could well be based on our recent home form that you could turn us over.
So I mean, I think I'm going into it. Obviously, I'm gonna want us to win,
Yeah, of
but
course.
it's going to be tough because, like you say, yeah, all these teams we're playing against at the moment are going up a level. So they say, oh, well, we're playing at 120% in order to keep up with you. Well, that means that Birmingham have got to go up to 150. It's simple. They have to improve and have to be better against the teams. We are on a bit of a run, especially away from home. Winning the last 2 away from home. I think there's a lack of pressure in effect on the team when that happens. I'm not going to lie, I'm looking forward to some games back at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. So I am going to say going into the weekend, close, hard-fought results. I think. I think it'll be 2-1 to Blues. It is going to be very tough though, and I think you're right. The team will be up for it. Depends how we come out the blocks as well. But
Yeah.
obviously, with a big following, I'm hoping that we can back the boys to the result that we want. Here though is to a great game on Saturday, and as always, as fans, I just want to say that I want you to turn up and have your worst game of the season, bar one other, and that's when you come back to Knighthead Park. But no, there's hope that you can continue pushing on and hopefully getting that playoff spot that you want. And then let's hopefully see Birmingham getting that first. I want first really. Bit of silverware is nice. But
just tell Alfie and Jay to pack it in just for
yeah,
one game.
I'll have a word. I'll tell him to calm it
word.
down just on Saturday.
That'll do me.
Well, Andy, thank you very much indeed
pleasure, mate.
for joining us and going through the different areas. It's great to get an insight, as always, to what we can expect from the game. And as always, I'll sign off by saying thank you very much. I hope you have a great rest of the season, apart from on Saturday and the following game. And keep right on. Thanks a lot.
Take care, mate. All the best.